Hey there, YouTubers. Me again. Who else, right? Today we're going to be working on the trusty old Craftsman. This is getting to be a popular vehicle for this channel. It's a good mower, but we use this mower. We've got 11 acres total, but got about 3 acres that are this mower's duty. We have the front yard, which is a piece of cake, right? That's the nice clean grass. But then we have the graveyard. The graveyard is 1.5 acres of nothing but vehicles. And weeds love to grow up in between those vehicles. And we have to squeeze this baby through there, try to cut all that. It isn't grass, it's grass too, but there's weeds, and they grow fast and tall. So that's rough on this old girl. And then we try to do around the shop, and then we have a lot of junk, car stuff. You know, we got parts laying everywhere. And when the grass gets long, they disappear. And when you run the mower through, we find them again. So this mower works for a living. And it's been a good mower, though, considering the amount of work that we do with it. She's been good to us, but she wears out. I mean, we're wearing out belts about 2 a year. The engine's staying strong and everything, but we do wear out belts quite often. And I did have to put the push bumper on the front just to keep my wife from running over stuff. She would bend the front axle, and there's a video on fixing that, and then putting this bumper on to stop that from happening. But today, just wear and tear from doing as much cutting as this thing does, we've worn out one of the spindles. And I bought a pair because it was cheaper. It was like $27 or $28 for one, or $39 for two. So let me think about that for a second. Okay, we're buying two. So we bought two. I'm only going to replace one today, but we're going to keep the other one around because when one goes bad, the other one's not far behind. But she's been good. I can't complain. She needs tires. These keep going down. We have to air it up every time we use it. But this, like I said, it's such a rough terrain that this thing has to work with. We'll probably wait until the tires just won't hold air anymore. Well, they don't hold air now, but they'll hold air for 24 hours, and that's enough. Anyway, I'm going to bring you up in here close. We're going to look at this spindle and why I've determined that it's not any good anymore. And then we're going to get the fixing on it. I've had this deck off so many times, I should be considered a professional at this point. But no, because I don't ever want to be a lawnmower mechanic, but I seem to be doing a lot of that. God bless you guys that do that for a living. I'm not a big, small engine kind of guy. I like working on the bigger stuff. But anyway, let's bring you in here, take a look at the spindle, why I think it's bad, and then we'll get started on fixing it. What you're looking at is the upper pulley where the belts go on the spindle for the deck. And if you take this pulley and you wiggle it, it rocks. I don't know if that's, oh yeah, I think you can see that. But she rocks. So the bearing is Shazoo. I was hoping I could do this without taking it out of the mower. I mean, out of the deck off. But I need to get on this with an impact, and there's just not going to be enough room. So I guess once again we're taking the deck off of this thing. And I guess if you're going to change a spindle and you don't feel like watching all my other videos where I take the deck off, then I guess you'll want this from start to finish. So that's what we're going to do. Start to finish, changing the spindle on the deck of your Craftsman mower, or just about any other mower for that matter. Now, here's the clincher, is we went ahead and ordered, ow, thorns. Told you this thing works hard. I don't know if I got the right spindle. The ones for all of my others had 3 mounting points, and this one, according to the book, has 4. So I'm checking on that right now. It's kind of looking with my, oh, I think it, yeah, I'd say it probably has 4, okay. So we ordered the right one, hopefully. I've got 2 brand new ones, like I said. I'll double check the other side while we've got it out. And you'll get a better view of what I'm doing if I take it out of here. Anyway, so we're going to remove the deck right now and then we'll go ahead and get started on that good old boy or girl or whatever you want to call it. I usually call things that I'm affectionate to girls, but I'm not overly affectionate to this. My wife is, so this one might be a boy. I don't know. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm going to take these bolts off down here, but we're going to take this deck off first. Getting started with here, the pin in the front. Let me see if I can bring you around to that. You can't see it real good, but this little thing right here, you just pull that pin out. And then you got to try to get that rod out of there. You got to move front to back to do that. I'm going to have a hard time doing it with the camera in my way. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, let's try it. Let's get the rest of it undone, and then that'll slide right out, because as you can see, it's bent a little bit, and it has to kind of come out back and in. I probably should fix that while I got it out. But let's get the rest of these pins out and pull this deck. Here's the other one on the back of the deck. This is a little bit different type of pin. You got to kind of twist it and then slide it back, because it locks in right here. And then there's another one up in here, up in this way, that I just cannot get a camera in there to show you, because it's way up inside. So just follow this over, this little rod right here, and follow it over, and it'll take you to the next one. Now that I got the other pin out, I've already got that out, then you just got to knock this out of here. Sometimes you got to wiggle the deck, lift the deck a little bit, just to get it out of there. Because what it'll do is it'll build a groove up in here. And I forgot this one has got to be in a certain position to go on. Wait a minute. If I remember right. Nope, it just comes off. Okay. I'm just not doing it right. There we go. Just pulls off. I will wiggled it a little bit. Now we'll test this other spindle while we're in here. Now it's still good for now, but I'm sure we'll be needing another one soon. Alright, this is the other side. This is the driver's side, if you will, which is not anything on a lawnmower, obviously. But again, you got to twist this away from it and then wiggle it out. Just like that. Come on, baby. Sometimes they're stubborn. There we go. And of course I'm going to get that one you can't see. And I've already popped the front one out because now I've got some play in the deck. So we're going to pull that last one and then yank the deck out of here. The only thing left now is to take the front belt off of this pulley here. And the way you do that is, now that you got everything unhooked, you just slide. Well, it's only going to go so far because the deck's hitting the tires, but you can pull it to the side a little. Okay, make me a liar. There we go. Pull the deck up a little, cause some slack. There's a place that you got to get the. Oh, it's this way. Okay. You got to pull the belt out of here. Get it off the pulley. It's going to be hard because I have the. At least try switching the camera to the other side, or I'll get it from the other side. You just keep watching. There we go. Now we get that belt off of there. I don't know if you can hear me, but get the belt off of there. And the deck is ready to come out. Once you get it to this point, you just pull her out of there. Now you do have a engagement cable here, so you can't pull it completely away, but you can get it pretty darn far. Catches on everything. Okay. So we're looking at this one here. So we're going to come over here and start on this. She's real wobbly. This one, not so much. So we're going to go ahead and replace this one. We're going to get, just because it's easier, I'm going to get my impact. I'm going to zing this off right now. Probably take this cover off just so that you can get a better view of it. This takes Torx and or a hex. Because it's very, very close here, Torx is the easier route. The other side is broken, but we'll go ahead and pull that one out too. That way I can put a washer and see if we can't keep it on there next time. It's just a guard to keep your pant leg from getting caught up in here. Now we'll get a socket and zing that right off of there. This is 22 M&Ms. I like calling them vanilla wafers. I don't know, millimeter sounds like vanilla wafer to me, so. But it's 22. Comes right off. I don't know if you used it by hand, if it would come off quite that easy, but comes off pretty easy with an impact. The reason I'm taking this off now is because when I get all this junk dug out of here and start taking this off, it's going to be hard to hold all this still while it's kind of holding itself right now. So put this aside. Yeah. Now we got to try to get the bolts out. So we'll be digging all this stuff out of the way. You can pull this through and get it pretty much out of the way if you want to. You want to. And make a mess in your shop digging out these bolts in here. See what kind of critters you can find. There's another one. Here's the two we found earlier. There's a third one. And here is the fourth one. So you pretty much can see where they are. Mowers are always so messy. So I'm just going to get I don't know, it looks like maybe a 13 millimeter M&M vanilla wafer. Yeah, that's it. And we'll zing these out of here. I believe they just thread into the spindle. And I have, yeah, that is the case. I have the new spindle here. And it looks exactly the same way. So we're going to just open this up. So if you snap these bolts, which they probably will, we don't got to worry about it. Because these are brandy new. And it has I'm going to say this is, oh nice. This one comes with a new spindle nut for underneath that holds the blade in. This is your blade folder runner nut and washer. It's brandy new. So yeehaw, no old hardware to mate with new stuff. So put this aside. We'll get these bolts taken out of here. It is 12 vanilla wafers. And as I suspected, Snappo. Oh, and now it's stuck. Oh, actually I lied. That's a 13. My bad. Now it's stuck. Great. Oh, it's got a little guard in here. I didn't even see. It's got this little guard. Want to make sure we put that back in. And I'm just going to finish these up because I have to go over to the vise to get these out. So rather than make you suffer through that, I'll just get these other two out and we'll go from there. Oh, there's always one. Alright. I think what it is, got a bunch of dirt under it. She's digging around on that one for a while. Ended up having this one stubborn one. I tried downsizing the socket and hammering on a smaller size and tried just about everything other than cutting, so I thought about using a torch, but if I use a torch, the case of damaging the deck is higher, so I'm going to just use this cutoff wheel and try to grind it out of there. So I don't care if I damage this, and the damage to this will be minimal. So. Hard to see when the sparks are flying. Let me get a light. Here we go. All right. One of these $1 lights from the Chinese tool dealer, so we can see what we're doing in here. Starting to cut into the deck just slightly now, so I'm going to switch sides and angles. Me in places we don't want to discuss. Let me get a chisel, see if I can chisel that out. See if I can slap this happy thing out of here. So far, no. Let's get this light out of here before I destroy it. That looked happy, but it wasn't. I'm going to say she's not cut enough yet, so we'll cut some more. I'll spare you that. I'll just keep going until I get this done. Got it ground down pretty much to she's loose, so we're just going to persuade it to go the rest of the way. It's just got a little tiny bit hanging there. Remember, we don't have to be nice because it's not going back in. So that's why you buy an entire kit instead of just trying to rebuild this one. Because this one, sure, because this one isn't going to be salvageable by the time we're done. I'm going to get a punch so I can just punch that bolt right through there. The idea of using the awl or punch or whatever you want to call it is you can pinpoint where the impact is going, and we're on the bolt, so we just want to push that thing right out. course, lighting disappears every time I put my hand over it. There we go. There. With minimal damage to no damage. I got a little scuffle here, but no real damage to the deck. So now we're going to flip it up on end, and we're going to put the new one in. There we go. Alright, hee-haw. I'm going to put the spindle with the blade on it inside this vise. This vise is not the best one in the world, that's for darn sure. It's seen better days. But it's a 16 vanilla wafers on the socket. I'm going to put that on there. And like I said, this vise is not the best one for the job. We may have to, it loosened it. We may end up having to, let's see if we can sock it up this way. Okay. He gave us a new one of these too, but I'm going to sharpen this blade while we're at it. I'm going to have to go use my other vise, but you get the idea. I'm going to go use my big kahuna vise. I got the new one. Going to take the screws out of it. This one's got a grease fitting. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. It's a good idea. So we just take these 4 bolts out, like a mile long. No wonder they snap when they're coming out. And this is where I need 2 cameras because I can't show you both angles at the same time. So we're simply going to make sure this is clean inside here. Not why, I don't know. But, oh sure, just throw the bolts. I'm just going to stick this up in here in place. Stick a bolt through the hole, like so. Put a bolt in. Put it in finger tight. Get another bolt. Same thing. It's all kind of by feel. I mean, I can take a look at it. I can lay it back and look at it to find a hole if I need to. Sometimes you gotta. Once you get the first 2 in, the other ones should already be lined up. Yep, sure enough. I just have all these in finger tight, and I'll show you why in a minute. But here's the blade. It's kind of cupped, and you put the cup side downward or outward towards the grass. It's got this little flower looking thing, and you want to line it up with the little flower looking thing on the spindle. Now this blade has seen better days. It really needs to be replaced. I'm going to go ahead and order 2 new blades for this thing now. But for the time being, I've gone ahead and I have sharpened them. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on this bolt. You would think, well, why would you put anti-seize? Because you don't want this to come loose. But because of this little flower design, it isn't going to come loose. But you saw how hard this was. It was actually spinning in the vise to get this off. So if I put some anti-seize on it, that should keep that from happening. I probably said this 9,625 times, but when you put anti-seize on your bolt, try not to touch it, because if you get it on your fingers, this stuff is like dog poop and it will get everywhere. So get that bolt in there and get the right size. Where'd it go? Oh, I hate it when I set my butt. Oh, way over there. Cheapers. Now, if you'll remember, this was 16 vanilla wafers. Now, I'm putting this on with an impact. You do not want to over tighten it to the point where it's going to cross threaded. Although that is nature's anti-seize, we don't want to do that. So we're just going to give it a couple of little pecks. That's good enough. If you're doing it by hand, it's better because you're probably not going to over tighten it with a ratchet. Now, and I'm going to show you why I left these in finger tight. Ooh, that's sharp. I'm going to set this back down, and I'm going to show you why I left them finger tight. I've got so much junk tools. Well, they're tools. They're not junk. Set this down again. Whoa. Slow down there, Betsy. All right. Do you remember this? Well, let's reposition the camera, shall we? There she blows. But now it's back to that. Remember this? This goes on these right here, opposite the other pulleys. Okay? And actually, I over tightened this one a little bit, but there we go. Let's tighten these down a little more. Alright. Take this one out. They're like 9 miles long. I'm not really sure why. Maybe just because they got to go through this bracket. Great. It fell in. Where the heck did it go? It's a first for me. Well, anyway, let's get this on here. And we'll have to lift this up to get that bolt out. Yay. Sometimes I am the clumsiest man on earth, or darn close to it. Lift this up. Fetch that bolt. Well, it's going to take more than that because I can't see it. Now you'll notice I'm not using the impact to put these back on because I don't want to over tighten these, and I'm not putting any anti-seize on these either because these seize up, the spindle's junk anyway. If you do put anti-seize on it, you're not doing anything wrong. Supposedly this ratchet puts out 35 foot-pounds, which should be more than enough to keep that spindle in place. And now, I do kind of like this whole grease fitting on there. I think we'll grease this baby up once we're done putting it together. Now, let's go ahead and return all our stuff, cables and all that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and return all that to its fairly paranormal place. So we're going to have to do a little finagling here. Oh, that was nice. All right. These things are so cumbersome. Just get this out of the way. It'll go around the pulley anyway, but we just don't want to get kind of hung up. Got our pulley, and it's going to go right here. There's a little brake that has to come back on this. Right here. Got a spring. Here we go. There's that. I'm sure there's probably some kind of... Ooh, she's a crush nut, I think. Yep, I believe it is, because it's going just so far. Now, you can't just use a regular nut. See, this has a shank in there? That's because there's some splines down in here. So you cannot go past that. This is a crush nut, so it's going to take a little bit of effort to get that to go all the way down. So we are going to use an impact for that, because it's a pretty large thing that we're working with. So now you'll have to hold on to this pulley. Go. Got to be careful because my socket wasn't quite deep enough when it hit that grease fitting there. See, this is going to go around the outside of this when we finally get this back on. I'm not going to do that until I get the belt back on it. So I'm going to take the belt, I'm going to pull it back through. It's going to go in between here. This is the thing about this. Probably should have put the belt on first. You got to kind of squeeze the belt. There we go. In between these. Wow, that was tight. There we go. So kind of what holds the belt on there, and then it goes forward onto the motor, engine, whatever. Not politically correct to call it a motor. All right. Now, I guess we can go ahead and put, since we got that in there, we can go ahead and put this back in. And I have a bad habit of just laying my tools down next to where I'm working, and they get stepped on and buried and all sorts of craziness, but it is what it is. Where'd the other bolt go? We do have it here. It is. Now this is split right here. I don't know if I've got, I'm going to go see if I can't find a washer that maybe we can help keep that in there. Alright, I got a big old washer in there. I'm going to push it up against the plastic when I put it in. Here we go. Now our guard is correctly installed. Once we get this back in place, we'll be able to move this back to where it goes. It goes around the outside of the deck. You can see the wear marks where it sits most of the time. And this looks like it's cracking again. I fixed this once already. We may end up fixing that again. Yay. Okay. We tear this thing up, and as you'll see, because I'm getting ready to, when we're done here, I'm going to bring it out to the field, and we're going to start a cutting. But oh, I don't know if I showed you this. You probably saw it already, but this is the old one we took out. And as you can see, we broke it as, well, I broke it as we took it out, or as I took it out. But we're not worried about it because it's junk anyway. Good piece of aluminum though. Anyway, so let's go ahead and slide this in and put it back into place and hook everything back up. Time to put this baby back in place. Just gotta manipulate it to go where we want it. It can be a little stubborn because we turn it all discombobulated. Fighting that cable. There we go. Whew. Getting too old for this stuff. Working on the ground is my least favorite. And unfortunately on this thing, that's all we can do. In case you can't see me, I'm on the other side feeding the... There we go. Now you'll see, I'll show you here in a minute what I'm about to do. That'll kind of give you an idea of how things go together. This is the first thing I undid, and it's going to be the first thing that goes back on. I'll tell you why here in a minute. But while you got the deck movable, you want to go ahead and get this piece in there because it can be a humdinger otherwise. So we're going to push this down on there. And sometimes you got to lift the deck up a little bit. Oh, and there it goes. And she snaps into place. And you put your pin in because everything pivots off of this. So actually, I think I got ahead of myself because to make life easy, we may want to go ahead and put the belt on too while we're in here. Let's see if I can do it without messing with it. Yeah, we got it on there, so that's good. So we got the belt on, put it up on their little guards here. So that part's done. Now we just got to put in those side clips, and we're ready to go. Now we're going to put this one back on. As you can see, it doesn't want to go back on because it's too short, right? So we've got to lift the deck and slide this on there. There we go. Oops, man, there goes my light. So anyway, Once you get that on there, you put in your funky clip. That's what I call it, because they're kind of funky, but they're not as hard to put on as they are to take off. Here we go. I'll put the front one on that you can't see, and then we'll go to the other side. Well, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, do me a favor and subscribe, because that helps me out. I hope you enjoyed it. Not a lot of fun because you're on your knees the whole time, but in spite of popular belief, that's not where I do my best work. But anyway, hopefully it'll help you all if you decide you have to change a spindle on your lawnmower. These things are infinitely fixable. As long as that engine doesn't lock up, you can pretty much fix everything else on these things with very little effort. So that's one of the major parts of the cutting machine, if you will. So anyway, appreciate you all watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends. See ya!